All right, my friends, this week on Prof and Dev Play Games, we are talking about the games coming out the rest of the year that we are hella excited about. Stay tuned. All right, my friends, welcome to episode 448 of Prof and Dev Play Games. I did indeed say hella in the cold open.
I was going to say, I was like, man, we got to stop. We have to talk about this. Like,
gotta talk about the vocabulary.
Yeah, not really.
NorCal till I die.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, well, over there is Anthony the Dev, Summer Speak on Blue Sky. How are you doing?
Good. Still digesting off my birthday dinner on Saturday. We went out to a nice Italian place that we've gone the past 2 years as a family.
Very nice.
In Seattle. It's just one of our favorite places. And I think every year we're like, okay, we're going to get an entree. And then wife and I are like, oh, should we split tiramisu? It's like the best tiramisu I ever have in my life. Even things I had in Italy came equal to it, but did not beat it. So, and we're always like, nah, we should just each get our own. And then afterwards, we're like, that was a mistake. Yeah. And I think we've done this every year where we're like, how do we remind ourselves how we feel so that we just split it instead of eating the whole thing. But it was really good. It was a nice dinner. It's become kind of just a family tradition to go to this restaurant and have some good Italian food and a decent time. So
awesome.
That's been fun.
Well, happy birthday. Congratulations on being fucking old now.
I already was old. Older. Yeah. Was it 44 is one of the I don't know, like the study on aging. It doesn't happen in like linear increments. It's like no, like around 44 is like a chunk of aging. And it's like, cool. Thanks science for letting me know that.
So you just got was it a show or was this real life? I don't remember which, where some guy takes his son in and does a blood transfusion and like gets his son's young blood in his body to stay young. It must be a show. It must not be real.
I think that's a show. That sounds kind of creepy.
It's very creepy. Don't do that. Bad advice. But you know, good advice.
Video games.
Play video games. Exactly. We're here to talk about the rest of the year and what, we're at the tippy top of fall, and the cascade of games that are in front of us is just woo boy. So we're here to talk about them. Obviously, this month started off pretty strong with Astrobot, and Space Marine 2 is doing pretty well. But we're moving towards the tail end of September, and the next week has a couple of games that are on my list, maybe on yours as well. I'm not sure. Maybe just one for you.
I have 3 things from this next week that I don't know when I'll pick them up, but there are 3 that one I don't own, one I do own from early access. I didn't realize it was coming into full release, and then one is Zelda, which I can't play.
It'll be in your house. You can look at the box.
Well, and I asked if I could play tonight at dinner, and I got a very emphatic no. And I'm like, okay.
Oh my gosh. The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom comes out on Thursday, and my daughter's like, "You're gonna get that on the way to work, on the way home? What are you gonna? Did you pre-order it? No, I didn't. But what if it's not at the store? Like, well, if it's not, we'll find it. We'll find it. We'll get it. Don't worry."
Yeah. But for me, like this week, game or not a game, Tiny Glade is this week.
Tiny Glade. Why? That's ringing a bell. What is that?
It's one of those. It's a toy, and it's like, did you post in the Steam?
Didn't I post it in our Discord?
Yeah, I thought this one where you just try like build like beautiful little towns and castles and stuff. Yes. Like it just uses proc gen placement of buildings, and like so as you kind of change your brush on what you want to place down, it like rechanges the environment to make a very pretty looking like village / glade. There's been a few of these of all different genres. And yeah, I won't know. They're on Steam. They kind of list them as games. They're kind of games. There's no purpose other than, and there's nothing challenging you. It's just an artistic expression kind
yeah.
of thing, build thing and make pretty.
There it is.
But it comes out on tomorrow, actually.
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay.
And I don't think they usually aren't that expensive, so I'll pick this up at some point. I have 9 Steam friends who already wishlisted this game and are
I'm one of them.
gonna
Thanks
get
for
this
the reminder on that. Jesus, I forgot about that coming out.
Yeah. Yeah, so it should be a lot of fun. Little one. The early access one this week for me was Shadows of Doubt.
Oh yeah.
I've owned this from early access for quite a while, and I've just kind of been waiting to play it till it's 1.0. It's procedural detective noir.
Oh,
so
those are some words I have not heard together.
It proc gens a mystery in a city, and you're a detective, and you need to figure out, like, there's been a murder or crime, a murder has happened, and you need to figure out who did it.
And oh yeah, I've seen this. And every time that you start the game over, it's a new mystery.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That sounds interesting.
It's crazy, and if they pull this off, it's going to be incredible. I do have some coworkers that have played it in early access off and on, and they said, yeah, it actually is pretty great.
Wow.
And you can do weird things like, oh, you want to, like, you need to figure out how to get access to, like, the police department's computers so you can do background searches on this person you think might be the criminal. So you have to do a lot of, I wouldn't say like puzzles per se, but challenges to get to places where you can find different information, investigate deeper into different people, interview people, find places where their stories don't line up. So
wow. The entire world
Sorry, go ahead.
The entire world is fully simulated. Each citizen has an apartment, job, daily routine, favorite things to do, places to go, and people to interact with. They live out their lives independently in a world that moves on with or without you. If they can nail that, that's really impressive.
Yeah. It's been in early access for a long time.
Wow. Damn, this looks kind of dope.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad I bought it a long time ago and just kind of been waiting. So I feel like play this at some point and just see if they pull this off, because it would be crazy.
I'm adding things to my list. And what's the third one? Zelda?
There was Zelda.
Yeah, God, that's gonna be. It cannot disappoint. It's the news came out this weekend. It's developed by Grezzo.
Yeah, I saw that, which doesn't surprise me.
No surprise
because of the look and everything. I'm like, yeah, they're building off of the Link's Awakening.
Yeah, dude, that's such great news. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So for me, it's Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom. Gonna pick that up physically sometime this week, or somewhere this week on Thursday. But I'm also looking forward to a game that came out a long time ago. It's getting remastered and put out now on Tuesday. Actually, it's Disney Epic Mickey Rebrushed.
Oh yeah,
that's a Warren Spector game, if I recall correctly. And I played a little bit on the Wii. I think I told that story a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I've not really dug into it, and I think that it looks really freaking cool. So depending on reviews, like if it holds up, if it plays well, I really want to play that. And I feel like a Wii game reimagined for a gamepad on modern gen is probably going to play pretty well, but knock on wood.
Yeah. Hopefully they land it well.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me that's Warren Spector, because he was the director on it.
Yeah, and the Jason Schreier book talked about how excited he was. He's like, Mickey? Yeah, yes, I want to make a game with Mickey. Like, wow, okay, cool.
Yeah, you just look at his pedigree of, like, yeah, he worked on his first game, Ultima 6, and then the Wing Commanders, Ultima 7, the original System Shock back in 94.
Yep.
Crusader No Remorse was him as a producer. And then Deus Ex in 2000, Invisible War, Thief in 2004, Deadly Shadows in 2004, and then Epic Mickey 2010, and Epic Mickey 2 in 2012.
Right.
You're like, what?
That's a swerve.
that's a turn.
Yeah. That's cool that he was excited about it though and wanted to do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. But no, that's cool.
And that's my September.
All right. October is kind of, I wouldn't say it's packed for me.
Yeah, me neither.
But the 2 games that are there
Take
are going to take all my time.
Yeah, exactly.
Although I did get one that was just announced for like October 3rd, which is MechWarrior 5 Clans. I don't know where I can fit that in. I don't think I can fit it in right now.
Not with the 2 that I think you're going to say.
Yeah, but I'm real excited for a MechWarrior game going back to the clan time period. MechWarriors 2, its expansions, its side games, 3 and 4 and similar side games were really exciting. 5 base game, 5 mercenaries. I kind of got mixed when I got reviews when it released, and I know has improved pretty significantly. I've never kind of dipped my toe into it, but I really would love to do big stompy mechs again. And the clans is the lore and stuff that I really like that time period. So
unrelated, you never picked up Armored Core, did you?
No, people at work made me go second guess my thoughts when they were discussing not because they disliked it, they're just the way they were talking about it. I was like, absolutely not. I can't. I just can't do this.
Got it.
So no, I did not pick that up. But the 2 big ones are Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred and Metaphor.
Yep, those are the 2 I thought you'd say.
Although I'm going to also be picking up the Pixel remasters. Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster, the physical copy of that. Now, once I get that, and when I got my birthday, I got a physical copy of Final Fantasy 9 for the Switch. Once I have this, I will have 1 through 12, minus 11, of course, physical on Switch.
Very cool.
Which I'm like, that's impressive, actually.
That is a great collection to have. Did 9 come from? Is it a Japanese version or
Europe?
Europe. Okay.
A physical Europe copy.
Yeah.
Same with a physical 7 and 8. They did a combo pack of
right
7 and 8 in Europe on cart. So why the US doesn't get any of this, I don't know. They just assume that no one in US North America cares about physical media anymore.
Right. Well, Sony sure doesn't. Look at their fucking.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, PS4 Pro, PS5 Pro. I mean.
Yeah. But yeah, so October 8th, Vessel of Hatred. I can't wait. I want to dive into Diablo 4 again. I'm taking a break right now to not burn myself out. It got really far, had a great time. I'm just like, okay, let it lie for, I don't know, is that 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks? 2 weeks. 2 weeks from 2 weeks, basically when this episode goes out. Because I bet it will be sometime on the night of the 6th. It will go live. Yeah. So I need to be ready for that. I'll play the crap out of that.
Are you excited for the new class? Are you going to dive into a new class? Or are you going to take your current character and go into the new area?
I'm not gonna take my current character. I'm trying to think. I need to read how they're gonna do it, story wise. Like, can I start a new character that just skips to the expansion story?
I would imagine that's possible, but you would have to be leveled up.
You would think that. Well, yeah. I don't know how this is gonna work. I want to see. If I have to play through the story again, I'll play through the story. Campaign's not that long. I'll get through it. Yeah, I'm not really sure what I want to do. If I want to do the Spirit Born, which is kind of monkish, which kind of is my jam, but I also wouldn't mind Rogue again. Haven't done Rogue in quite a while. I'll decide probably day of. Just decide go with something.
Make a choice and stick.
Yeah, I'm real excited for that, and then I'll just play that. Like Metaphor's like 3 days later.
I was going to say, you're going to play it for 3 days and then jump into Metaphor?
I don't know how I'm going to do this. But Metaphor's going to be arriving on the 11th, getting the big Atlas 35th anniversary collection thing.
Is it a collector's edition of this game?
Yeah, it's like a Metaphor Tazio collector's. It's for Metaphor, but it's also kind of has stuff in it because this is like the 35th anniversary of Atlas overall.
Mm-hmm.
What do we get? Come on, someone just give me a good. What is in here? Base game, steelbook, soundtrack, art book, metallic pins, a sticker sheet, kingdom, a cloth map. That was the big seller for me. I got a cloth map, a bunch of custom DLC stuff, costumes and battle music, but then an Atlas 35th anniversary digital history book and digital all-time best soundtrack.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
And it comes in this like the box looks like a book basically. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I want this nice thing. I'm getting it for PS5. So yeah, I don't know how I'm going to balance those two games coming out.
Yeah, those are two massive
days.
things. Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
like, how I balance this is I'm probably not buying the last game I'm interested in October, which is at the very end of October. I'm just like, I won't be playing that right now, so I'll probably just wait.
Yeah, is it Veilguard?
Yeah,
yeah. That's the thing about these 3 months is the amount of awesome games coming out in this short window. Obviously, because it's towards the holiday and people buy games for people for Christmas and the winter holidays or whatever. But fuck, there's so many big games I've got on my list. I got Diablo 4. Which I haven't finished, or Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred, which I haven't finished Diablo 4 yet. I've just progressed into Chapter 3. So I still got a long way to go, so I'm not going to pick up Vessel of Hatred anytime soon, but I will eventually. Metaphor ReFantazio, I'm very, very excited about. I want to see what the reviews look like and what you say about it. I had it pre-ordered, but I canceled it yesterday because I'm going to have Zelda the week before, and I'm not going to be through Zelda. So I won't have time to play it yet, so I'm just going to wait until I'm ready to play it. And then I've also got Super Mario Party Jamboree circled, only because we love playing Mario Party in the house. And if this offers more than the ones we have and people are really excited about it, I'll pick it up. If people are really not, I won't. So kind of a wait and see on that one. And the last one, and I'm probably going to pick this up, which is why I canceled Metaphor, is Veilguard. I'm very, very excited about Veilguard. Especially that it's Steam Deck verified and you don't have to have the fucking EA launcher. I've been listening to the Veilguard podcast, which is called something. Let me see if I can find that real fast. Oh yeah, there it is. Vows and Vengeance. It's basically an audio drama. All the characters are in there. You're kind of following a thief, and she interacts with all the characters throughout the episodes, and there's one a week leading up to it.
Cool.
Halo 5, I think, did that audio drama leading up to it, which was awesome. I really liked that.
Halo 2 did one. That was
cool.
that was part of the I Love Bees.
Oh, that's right.
ARG unlocked chapters in an audio drama, which you can find it now if you online. I think I've talked about it on the podcast before.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The key part on that, I'll go back to my history of when I got disillusioned with Halo, really, was I loved that audio drama. And then I picked up Halo 2 because it was all building to Halo 2. And Halo 2 did not reference the audio drama at all. None of the characters, nothing. It was just a separate thing. And I'm like, but I liked those characters. Yes. I liked what you built there. And now the game's never... Oh, right. The game, this was made separately. And the thing that I really like is never going to be in the game.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what happened with the Halo 5 audio drama. It led to it, and then it really didn't connect very well. And I was like, what the fuck is the point of this? I guess they really don't want them to connect, but geez.
Yeah.
This one does, because it's, the main character is not in the game, as far as I know, but you interact with the main characters from the Veilguard.
That's cool.
But that's going to be massive.
Veilguard is very possible that I pick that up very quickly into November. But
depends on reviews for me. Like I'm holding out. Like if those reviews are really, really strong that tell me I can't wait to play this game, then I will jump in.
Yeah. I've watched a few videos of it being played and it looks fine. It actually looks like Inquisition a lot gameplay wise. I'm like, yep, all right. Select your abilities, time pause to select. It's not your, like, Dragon Age has moved away from the typical CRPG of like original Bioware immediately after the first one. I guess 2 still kind of had that feel, but from like a much more like over the shoulder perspective. But Inquisition definitely not. Veilguard just seems to be the natural evolution gameplay wise. Man, though, there are some characters that I hate the art update to. Holy crap.
Are they Kunari?
Yes.
Yeah,
what did
man.
they do?
They look. I keep trying to just be like, you know what? It's an art choice. Get over it. But boy, they look weird. They have huge foreheads. Huge foreheads.
I don't know why. Like
shiny skin. I don't know.
The art change. Like, yeah, I don't. It bugs me. It actually bugs me a lot looking at them, being like, but that's. Hashtag not my Kunari. I don't know.
That's not what they look like. That's the main criticism I've seen on every fucking video is how awful they look. I'm like, man, come on, get it. Nope. And I looked at it, I was like, no, actually, I kind of get it.
Yeah, they just don't match to me the artistic direction of that race. That race throughout the entire series. Like It's not a small deviation. It's just like, oh, what? Who decided to reinterpret how they completely look?
Yeah, it's like if in Mario, Toads all of a sudden looked like, a super tall mushroom instead of this short squat thing,
Yeah.
Like, that's not my Toad.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know why. And it's kind of, it bugs me every time I see it. So, I'm not the only one. Yes, other people online, and I've seen that too, but I was giving it benefit of the doubt until I saw the video and I was like, no, I just can't do it.
Sometimes annoying people have annoying opinions, but sometimes annoying people have opinions that I agree with, and this is one of them. Yeah. It looked not great, but I'm willing to forego that because I just from the panel that I saw, the way that the voice actors themselves like really interacted with each other and were like so deeply felt their character and their colleagues' characters, I was like, this has got to be special. They're not fucking faking this. So I pray to God it'd be such a great thing to dig into another deep RPG like we did with Baldur's Gate last year. Yeah,
it would really, really be cool. I'm hoping it turns out well. Hopefully EA doesn't screw this one up.
Well, they're letting them not use the launcher, so that seems a step in the right direction.
Yeah. Maybe EA has decided that they're gonna move away from that a bit. So that's like the end. That's October 31st. That's Halloween. Yep. Even coming out, I won't be playing it that day anyway.
No,
I got kids and I got Halloween. Like exactly. That's a thing. Then we move into November, which does have a few big things.
This one's my biggest list of those 3 months.
We got Mario and Luigi Brothership, which I'm probably not picking up, but I'm gonna see what people think of it because it seems like a more Mario RPG-ish thing. So
I like the art style. I like what I've seen of this so far. This is a day one for me. I cannot wait, and my daughter is very excited as well.
That is cool.
We should be done with Zelda by then, so we can move on to that. That's the plan.
But then I have 2 games, a day apart, and I have to choose. Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D and Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yep.
And I don't know where I'm going to fall on this. I'll probably wait to see what kind of reviews show up for Assassin's Creed. Because Assassin's Creed is not a guarantee that this is going to be a great game. I want it to be, but
if it's Valhalla 2.0, I'm going to pass. But this is the Odyssey team, so I'm praying to God.
Yeah, I'm hoping it ends up well. And man, it's been a long road to get an Assassin's Creed actually set in Japan. So it could be really, really cool. But we also got Ghost of Tsushima that may have stole some of this thunder because we waited so long. So I'm like, everyone and myself is probably going to be comparing it to how well does this work compared to Ghost of Tsushima as an open world samurai story.
Yeah, I think that, and also comparing to Valhalla. And I know Valhalla sold really, really well, but man, it's so bloated.
Of course, Valhalla sold really well. It was like a launch title for PS5. Everyone bought it. You want to know how to, for future game developers, the best way to actually get a bunch of sales is launch your game at the actual launch of a new console. There's so few titles, they'll just buy whatever's there because they just want something just to play on their new hardware that they just spent hundreds of dollars on. So if you have a game you can get out then, great job. Valhalla definitely did that. I bought Valhalla because I had a PS5. I was like,
me too.
What am I going to play on this thing? I guess Valhalla.
For 20 hours and then get bogged down.
Yeah, I was like, no, never mind.
Yeah. But I'm excited about Shadows, man. I think that they've got something cool with the dual protagonists.
Yep.
I think if it's the Odyssey team doing the Odyssey thing, I'm going to get fucking lost. I put 120 hours in the Odyssey, and I don't do that.
Yeah.
I just couldn't. That game was everything to me.
It was great.
Goddamn. Yeah.
What else do you have in November?
So I've got 3 other ones besides the ones you pointed out. One comes out November 12th, and this is a weird one. It's Antonblast.
Oh, yeah.
Which is basically like a Wario Land, and it just looks like a frenetic fucking platformer. I love platformers. I mean, Astrobot, there's no way it's not my game of the year with a fucking bullet. So I'm in to check it out. There's a demo right now in the eShop that I have downloaded. I haven't tried it out yet. So there's that. And then weirdly enough, I've got Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024.
All right.
That's November 19th. I'm curious how this is going to review with the new, what are they called? Like tasks or activities? Like you have things to do besides being a digital tourist. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. Because if it's something that people find fun and engaging, that might be the hook for me. Because I would love to do something in that game besides just looking at the places flying over. It was interesting, but I would like to do something. And the last one is the day after, and I'm hoping to God this reviews really well, even though it's on your list. It's Stalker 2: Heart of Chernobyl.
That I did have that listed. I'm not going to be picking it up myself, but
I really, really, really want to support this dev team.
Yes.
I will pick it up day one, even if I'm not going to play it day one, for a couple of reasons. One, the Ukrainian dev team and the shit they've gone through, but also they've put in, and I don't know if they did this in Stalker 1. I don't think they did. I think it was Russian and not Ukrainian. They put full Ukrainian in this game. You can play the entire game in Ukrainian, which is what I would do.
That's cool. Yeah.
Ukrainian with English subtitles, because I'm sure I know there's a bunch of shit I don't know, but I'm just so excited to experience that. And this is kind of the year of playing shit that I don't normally play. Like I'm playing Space Marine 2 right now and having a good time. Stalker 2 is not a game that I normally play, but I really want to support them and check that game out. So I'll probably get a physical version of that one on.
It's on my list to play eventually, just because it's I love immersive sims, and you don't get an immersive sim that often, and I would love to support this team who's been working on this game for a while through quite a bit of upheaval, to say the least. The fact that they're actually getting it out is pretty great, and I would say they're following up. I want them to land it because they're following up. It's hard to say. It's like one of those cult video games. Like Stalker is not the original Stalker, and it's spin-offs at the beginning. They're known now, but they weren't a wildly successful games. It's just they were weird, janky. But I know a lot of people in game dev that just fell in love with them. Yeah. Kind of because of that. They had a charm, for lack of a better word, compared to a lot of the games. Like,
right.
They have that soul. Like, you're like, yeah, these might be janky, but there's a lot of neat ideas here that, for the most part, work. And so, man, it's been a long time since.
Yeah, it's what, 2009. Like, if my memory,
Call of Pripyat. So there's the 3 original Stalker games, which that's why I call them spinoffs. They're not sequels. Yeah. There's Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl, Stalker Clear Sky, and Stalker Call of Pripyat.
When did Shadow of Chernobyl come out?
2007.
Yeah, because I came back from Ukraine in 2007, got a laptop that I could game on, and that was one of the first games I picked up. And I played a couple hours of it. Just wasn't my type of game at that point. But
did you ever read the book that it's based on?
No, but
Roadside Picnic. I've read it. It's interesting to read Soviet era sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
Not because it's more that I'm like, it's a lens into someone doing science fiction, and I think it was in early 70s under that umbrella of the Soviet Union,
Yeah.
and how different it is to Western sci-fi of the time. So it's really interesting to compare the two, of being like, how the mindset changes the writing and what they're
Right.
writing about. So highly recommend it. It's short. It's not, definitely not long at all. And
It's Roadside Picnic.
yeah, Roadside Picnic is the book.
All right, I will try to check that out. So excited about that. Unrelated but related. My host mother from Ukraine is coming this week. I haven't seen her since 2007. So, she escaped Ukraine during the craziness and eventually went back, and they lived in Kyiv, and she's here doing some training, and she's going to see some different number of volunteers around the country. So she'll be here middle of the week.
That's cool.
Very cool. That takes us through November. I've only got one on my list for December. It's not one I'm going to play, probably, but it's one I want to see how well it does. And that's Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Basically, I have Indiana Jones, and then we were talking about before the thing started, because I picked it up for Fantasy Critic, Monument Valley 3.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The 10th, so I'll probably play that while on my phone on the couch at some points. Yeah, I have no clue how Indiana Jones is going to do. Mm-hmm. It is such a question mark to me.
Well, it's such a strange release date for me. I mean, I don't know. It's hitting this year, but God, November or December 9th is like after all the voting for most of Game of the Years, and it's after Black Friday, but that doesn't matter because it'd come out full price anyways. But
oh no!
And then next year it'll be played. The best place to play it will be the PS5 Pro. So actually, not even next year whenever it comes out. Fucking wild. So, or not? That's not true, I guess, because high-end PCs will be better than that. But
Oh yeah, if you have a good PC, it's gonna it'll be fine. Because I'm pretty sure this is PC day one as well.
Oh, it is. It's Xbox, SNES, and PC.
Yeah. Yep.
Speaking
I
of
don't know, though. I just don't know.
I don't know either.
Who's doing it? Machine Games.
Games. I mean, they do great stuff with Wolfenstein. So the pedigree of the dev team is not the issue. It's just, indie's not hitting. They had that indie movie recently. It's just like, yeah. I don't know. Uncharted kind of did for games what indie would have done, or Tomb Raider did before too. So I don't know. I hope it does well. I don't want it to do poorly, but it's not one that I'm interested in picking up at all.
Yeah,
unless it's like crazy.
Maybe
reviews.
Eventually. Yeah. It just depends on. There's problem as we've gone through here. There's a lot of big games coming out, and it doesn't let up. Like, we'll just go through December now, but January, February, March is going to be full of other huge games. Like, it just doesn't stop.
Wacky ass Yakuza pirate game, which looks beautiful. Like, it inspired me to pick up Like a Dragon, Yakuza Like a Dragon on the Steam Deck, and started playing in it. That starts with a fucking bang. And that's the one where it had a line that was "fuck you, you cum stain," or something like that. It's like, Jesus, what's happening here? It was not Astrobot that said that. That pirate game looks really, really fun. So Yakuza,
it's so bizarre.
Well, I love the Ryugo Goku, or I think that's their name, or something similar to that. They're just like, we're like a TV series. Like, we reuse assets, we reuse locations. Like, that's how we can get games out every 3 years or whatever. Or Infinite Wealth came out this year. What am I talking about?
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, dude.
And they also, like, they're definitely not chasing the, like, every game has to be bigger and grander and better and look better. They're like, no.
Thank God.
We're just going to set expectations to our fan base, what they want, and we're just going to throw weird stuff at them. And they'll love it. So,
right.
Yeah, what's the thing? RGG Studio announces Pirate Yakuza game, and it looks like a fever dream. And it's like, yes.
Yes, exactly right. I woke up. That's the first thing I saw that morning. And I was like, "What the? Am I still asleep? What is
I'm
happening
like,
here?"
well, I don't want to.
I'm very, very excited about that.
Yeah.
Never gonna be able to play all the Yakuza games, obviously, because they're putting out so many, so many. But they've got something going on, and that's pretty cool to see.
Yeah. What's that? What's the translation of that, of their name? Is it Like a Dragon?
Like a Dragon, yeah.
Yeah. It's just why we didn't. That's just Japanese for Like a Dragon.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, I love that their studio is just like, yeah, just Like a Dragon studio. That's what we do.
And we make the games called Like a Dragon. And we're going to take Yakuza out of the name, but now we're putting it back into the game with Yakuza Pirates. Like, fucking hell. Square should take a lesson from you about how to make fucking names, because goddamn, those are good. So good. I guess a couple of ones are coming out. Neva's coming out. That's the ones by the Gree team.
Yeah.
Marvel Rivals is coming out.
Pass.
Yeah, it's not a game I'm going to play.
I've seen some people stream it in beta and stuff, and it's a competent hero shooter. Yeah. That's for sure. Like, it's not bad in any way. I'm just like, I don't need another hero shooter, and I don't think other people need a new hero shooter.
No, I mean, I picked up what's it called? The ones by Riot,
Valorant.
Thank you, Jesus. Valorant for a while. I obviously played Concord until they took it away from me. And they're fun for a couple of nights. I'm like, yeah, this is not a thing that I need longer than, once or twice.
Yeah.
That's just not my thing. Yeah. I hope Baby Steps is coming out. I'm looking forward to that coming out only for my fantasy critic, but dude, it's been so quiet. I don't know.
We didn't see anything of it at the Devolver Direct from summer.
Yeah,
so right, I assume it's not coming out this year.
Yep.
I have no inside information on this. I have no clue what Devolver's release schedule is. So I will put that warning in here. I'm like, I didn't see it there, so I assume it's not.
Yeah, me too. I'm making the same assumption, and I have no inside information at all. Oh well. Well, why don't we pivot to what we've been playing, and we're going to start with me, and we're going to talk about UFO 50 because it's fucking bananas and great. For those who don't know, I think this was originally supposed to be released in like 2018, and they've been working on it. It's put up by Mossmouth. It's put out by there's 6 indie devs who've been working on it. Derek Yu of Spelunky, and then Downwell creator is on there as well, as long as with 4 other people that I don't know off the top of my head. One
of the people that had done is it Eric Surke worked with Vlambeer on things, so I mean, it's a collection of indie devs, that's for sure.
Yeah, so it's a collection of indie devs, and they've put together a collection of 50 games, and it's following UFO Soft, which is the a made up video game company that operated in the 80s, and it just goes from game 1 through game 50, like their gameography, I guess, starting with the first game all the way to the last. And you just, as you play through them, you see, like, the first game is this kind of Metroidvania like thing with very rough mechanics, no music, some very light sound effects, and very obtuse. And as you get through, you start seeing more and more evolution of the team, basically. So they set it up in such a way that each game gets better, like the team's learning how to do it, and there's like story about how we made this, we were working another job, all the way through to like we have our own company and we're making these games. And each game kind of features a really neat idea. There's a game called Mortolia, I think is what it's called. You may have seen this, I don't know, where it's a platformer where your character, you have like 12 kind of like soldiers, and they get dropped out of a plane, and you're going in the side-scrolling game level, and your soldier can either turn into a torpedo and shoot across the screen, killing enemies, can turn into a rock, sacrifice itself, or sacrifice itself and turn into a bomb and blow things up. So you blow things up to get things out of your way, you shoot the torpedo to get rid of enemies, or you use a block to give yourself like a platform to jump on and get higher and higher. So as you're pushing through the level, you're sacrificing your characters to get the whole team further and further. And then you eventually pick up like, +3 team members or whatever. And your goal is to try to get across the level using those mechanics. So then later, it's very fucking cool. It's so, I can't stop thinking about that specific game. But then as you
Reminds
go
me of
through,
Lemmings,
it's a little,
like
yeah,
a style of like a simpler version, but a setup of, yep, these things are coming. You need to make them, sacrifice them to be special things to
yeah.
solve puzzles. It's Dev. We haven't seen a Lemmings game in a very long time, so it's neat to see someone riffing on that concept and continuing it. My
Well,
God, but they
and then
use it there.
they do, but then it's cool to see them riff on it, where you go 10 games into the future of this collection, and there's Mortolia 2. So they've got a bigger, your squad is now 50, and you have like 7 different abilities, and they're more expanded because you're on like they're able to use the hardware more and able to do more things. You can have a person who sacrifices themselves and turns into a fucking portal that you can teleport into, among other things. One's like an engineer that can set up a turret. It's wild. There's another one where you are race cars and you're painting the ground, and you're trying to paint more ground than the other team, and then at the end you have to get above a certain percentage to move on to the next round. It's like fucking Splatoon but with race cars. There's God, I wish I'd have written all these down. Every single game has like a different, like just one kernel of an idea, and they spun that out. It's like a game jam on steroids.
Yeah.
It's just like they spun it out into a full game. They're full fucking games. There's like a first person dungeon crawler that looks very Doom-esque. That's really got some really neat ideas. Like every single game in this collection has such neat ideas, and it's really wild. I played probably 14 of them. Have not beat any of them, but I've just like seen what there is. And I've put probably an hour and a half or so into this thing so far. It's really, really neat, and I'm so glad I picked it for Fantasy Critic because it scored 90.
Yeah. There's a lot of co-op ones. I'm looking at the Wikipedia page.
There are a bunch of co-op
12 of the
ones.
games are co-op, and then 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 versus games.
Yeah,
that's pretty crazy.
And I think it has online, doesn't it?
I don't know. I have no clue.
Yeah.
I was looking. It's made in Game Maker Studio. Holy cow! That's insane.
Really? Interesting. Yeah. The whole thing.
Yep.
That makes sense.
That's crazy. Holy cow! It's such just a crazy concept, I must say.
It is, and if it was supposed to come out in 2018, like I think I heard, that's 6 years later, like polishing, working, building, whatever. Like that's great.
It was announced in 2017 with an expected launch of 2018.
It was announced in 2017.
Yeah, and development took 6 more years.
Wow.
That's funny because it looks like they probably, why so many people forgot about it is they announced it in 2017 and then really didn't say anything else about it until a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Again, that like it's actually coming out.
Once it surfaced, I was like, I gotta get that. God, it's good.
Its 8-year development time coincidentally ended up matching the time frame spanning the game's fictional release dates.
Oh my God, so funny.
Yeah, they basically have given interviews. They underestimated how long it would take to make 50 games, and then simultaneously development of Spelunky 2 slowed things down.
Oh yeah, it makes sense.
That's crazy.
Makes a lot of sense. So highly recommended, I think, especially for you. Even if you just checked it out, checked out the games on YouTube or whatever. I think honestly, it's a discount right now. It's like $22 on Steam or whatever. I picked up. I'm playing it on Steam Deck. It's unsupported, it says, but bullshit. It's fucking. They must not have gone through it because it plays perfectly on Steam Deck. I think you would get a lot out of it.
I'm sure I would
from that game jam mentality. But man, it's fucking good. So other than that, I've been playing Astrobot with my daughter. I beat it. I talked about it last week. I think I beat it. And just watching her go through levels and just how fucking good she is at playing this game. It's really, they said, I think his name is Dussault or Doucette, the game director, was like, we wanted to make this, we treated it as it would be the first video game a kid would play. And it's not my daughter's first game, but she is just so deeply into it. And every time she gets a bot, she's like, who's that bot? Who is that really? What game is that person from? I'm like, I have no fucking idea. And she's like, Dad, you know all about video games. How do you not know these? I'm like, I don't know shit about the history of PlayStation. Like these deep cuts are deep. Like I don't know. I had to Google some of this shit.
You're like, I did not own a PlayStation.
Yeah, no. PS4 was my first PlayStation. I watched people play PlayStation. Like, I through osmosis picked up PlayStation stuff, but like Mr. Mosquito, no idea what the fuck that is.
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera. But she's enjoying the shit of it. My wife is singing the Astrobot songs all day. We're playing, like, I thought I was hyping it up because I was hoping she would get into it, but she was kind of like, "Oh, it looks fun." Like, we played Playroom a bit together, but it wasn't like Zelda level obsession. Now it is.
Nice.
Now it is. I think she'll put it down for Zelda, but I'm not entirely sure.
Mhm.
And then the last thing is Space Marine 2. I've put in 2.5 hours or so. It's solid. It looks good. It's got really neat mechanics. There's some. The combat has enough variation where the parry system, the different kinds of attacks you can do with like your fucking chainsaw, sword, or shooting, it doesn't get boring. Enough enemy variety that it doesn't get boring. And then there's I was in a level where there's like basically a horde mode, but they did it where like you're trying to defend this antenna and then they're attacking different parts of the antenna at different times. So it didn't feel like a normal horde mode. It kind of felt like a horde mode plus let's make it a little more engaging. So just, well-made game that I know is somewhat problematic based on
Would you say it's good because it doesn't impose overblown attempts at messaging or imposing morals? Sorry, quote from
no,
the
because I
studio
think
head.
that's stupid. I think that's stupid because when you are like, we don't want to be political, so we're going to say nothing, that's actually being political. So just fuck off with all that. That's so annoying.
Yeah, I think the guy could have. I feel like there's one message, which is we just want to do a throwback game mechanically.
Yeah.
Fine. That's great. I'm like, why did you add the sentences about going into like devs wanting to have a message in their games, art having a message? I'm like, you could have cut those sentences out and your point would have been fine. And then you veered off the edge.
Yeah, I agree.
Why?
Winning, but I am liking the game on its merits. And we talked, I think last week, where like canonically Space Marines, there are no women.
Yep.
But there are other women in the game. At least right now in the second mission, There's a woman who's leading. I was like, oh, good. I'm glad to see something else happening here.
Yeah, to the Imperial Guard. I said that they would be in the Imperial Guard.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. But it's got that fucking bro energy, which is like a little bit like,
yeah, it does.
A little bit. But I think the game is enjoyable and it runs really nice. It looks really nice, which leads me to a question, Anthony, and I think I know what you're going to tell. I have a 3060. You know me. You know how I play games. Mm-hmm. I don't need to upgrade that thing, right?
At the moment, no.
Yeah. Okay.
I kind of feel like what's the next PC game that you're going to be specifically wanting to play?
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I'd wait until there's truly something on. You're like, no, I want to play this on PC.
And I can't on the thing that I have.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, perfect. That will never happen. So good.
I
seriously doubt that'll ever happen. Although I don't know, man, with the PlayStation, like, am I going to do a PS6? Am I going to be like done? I don't know.
We got years to figure that one out.
We do. All right. So what are you playing?
So this game released from early access and I've owned it forever. I was like, let's do this. It's incredibly satisfying. It's Satisfactory.
Oh fuck! I saw you playing on. I saw that on your Steam thing. I was like, that must be his son. He has not talked about playing Satisfactory.
No, it came into 1.0, and I was like, all right, I'm going to give this a shot. And holy cow, does that just get deep into like my obsession of organization, basically, and efficiency? Because it's just a game about building enormous factories to power like a space elevator, sending all sorts of stuff up. So like you're putting mining stations down, then you're hooking conveyor belts up to smelters to smelt that into ore, then to craft that ore into plates and bars and different things, and combining those ingredients into other things. And the scale is huge because you're just doing this over a planet, basically.
Jesus.
It's just, and you're building platforms and like you're building factories. That's what it is. It is a as someone explained to me, it is 3D first person Factorio.
Right.
The scale is just enormous, and there are times when I've like, my kids have gone to bed and I've just spent 4 hours meticulously planning this. Like, all right, the ore's going to come this way. It comes at this rate. Okay, I need to split it because the things that it's going into can take stuff in at this rate. Okay, and they're going to output this. And where do I need to route that? Because I need to make this other thing.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Rebuilding my factories, and then of course, as you go, you're sending things off to upgrade like what you can build and what you have access to. So you get new things, and you're like, oh, I need to reset this whole part of the factory and rebuild it with this new technology that I have. It's a ridiculous game.
Yeah, everything you just said is just like ASMR. Put it in ASMR and just put a
it is incredibly satisfying, though. That's the thing.
Man.
The name's perfect for it, because there are times when you can just like, you get up high over your entire like machine that you've basically set up, when you just watch everything is just moving it perfectly, and you're like, I'm a god. This is amazing.
And this is the one that they basically they raised the price towards the end of early access because they're like this. Yeah, got it. Yep.
It's huge. I have no clue how far into the game I am. There's a lot of tiers. There's 8 tiers of progress, and I'm working towards tier 4, but I think it exponentially takes longer and longer, because you also have to find new, and there's more minerals and stuff you have to start incorporating into your crafting. So you're like I'm getting close where I need to figure out how I'm going to get a quartz factory up and running, and convert and getting silica into my base. And because there are things that I now need to craft that use silica and my iron and my copper, and I got to figure out how I'm going to route everything combined together.
Is there anything
it
about
just scales? It's so huge.
Is there anything about your experience playing Satisfactory where you are like taking notes or thinking about Astroneer?
No.
Or are they so wildly different?
They are wildly different. Like, Astroneer does have some automation factory stuff to it, but not huge. It's always meant to be very light in Astroneer. It's like one of the first things I worked on in Astroneer when I joined the studio, which was like auto arms and big storage and things that you sensors, so you can start automating parts of your thing. What was the big thing? The thumper, the big mining thing that we had in Astroneer, so you could place it down and it would start mining for you while you went away. It's light factory building. Although I see people online who, in the Astroneer subreddit, who do incredible, huge automated factory builds, even with the small tools that we've given them.
So this game, it's Coffee Stain Studios. This is a developer, published by Coffee Stain Publishing. And I'm trying to go through the list here. Most of the things on Steam are like just tracking back to Coffee Stain Publishing. But Goat Simulator is made by Coffee Stain North. Is Satisfactory made by the same people who do Goat Simulator, or just a different?
Maybe. Probably a different team, but same company overall.
Interesting.
But yeah, Coffee Stain, they also bought a bunch of companies.
Okay, that's why there's such a diversity of what. Coffee Stain Studios did Sanctum. It's looking like, that was a while ago, 2011. But man, I've heard people just like the people who play this game fucking play this game. And when I saw it on your Steam thing, I was like, that has to be a mistake. Is his son playing his? That's weird.
No, that's me.
It's so fucking funny. That's great. That's great, man.
Yeah, it's a really neat, fun game. Very, very relaxing overall. Very nerdy, but I was kind of surprised how much I've just been like, I just want to sit here and I just want to optimize my factories.
What a nice palate cleanser between Diablo and Diablo.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. I'm just like, this will be great. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing, I think.
That's cool. Yeah, that's it. Based on your Steam time. Yeah, it seems like that's all you've been playing.
Yeah,
cool. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for the podcast tonight. Anything else for the good of the order here?
No, I don't think so. I'm good.
Cool. Well, I don't think there'll be a Nintendo Direct next week because I don't think they want to step all over Zelda. So
No.
I think we'll be good. We're looking for, I think, October with all those Switch rumors swirling, which we didn't need to talk about because they look fake as fuck, but we'll see.
Yeah, it was pretty much confirmed they're fake.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
So, still waiting on that.
Yeah, it'll be here soon. But next week, Zelda. We'll have ours. Well, actually, no, you won't. I will have my Zelda impressions. God damn. That's funny. All right,
I'm sure
folks.
I will see some of it.
Yes, you'll be watching over the shoulder.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks, folks. If you like us, please rate us on your podcast service of choice, and we will be back next week.
Later, everyone.